Hey guys, it's Octo, and this is my Greg Tech New Horizons Steam Age base tour. So there's a lot to go over here, so I'm just going to sort of take it as it comes to mind, and we'll go ahead and get started. So this is sort of the main base that I work out of. It contains my storage, my machines. I'll sort of get an outside view of this real quick. Yeah, everything that I do basically happens in here right now. I do sort of have a little under area, which we'll show in a bit, but this is the primary section. Some, goofy stuff has happened with this in terms of it burning down twice, but I've taken measures to try and prevent that, which we'll go over later. But this is sort of the basement. This is where a lot of the tech started. I have some furnaces down here, my sort of auto smelter, which apparently I need to refuel. I didn't even know there was iron nuggets in here. But the water from the water tower comes in here and powers everything in that main area, which we'll go over in a bit. This is my very first coke oven. It's what I use to get charcoal, cold cocoa, that kind of stuff. Mainly for torches at this point. I don't really use it for anything else. This sort of living room area is where I keep a lot of my trophy items. So I have each of the actual trophies you get through the game. As well as just a couple things that I picked up. So this was my first potash apple, this was my first pickaxe, my first boiler, and I'll probably add some more stuff onto there as we go. This is just like a general storage for architecture, craft, and all of its blocks, so as I make stuff I can throw it in here and not clog the storage over there. This is the kitchen I've set up with cooking for blockheads. I haven't actually used this. Most of this was just done to complete the quest for that. But I would like to use this as we move into low voltage, because I know you get more hearts and that kind of stuff for eating different kinds of food. So that's something we'll probably do at some point. I mentioned before my storage system's in here, so this is where I keep literally everything. We have tons of barrel space here. I'm even thinking about using the drawers up here and making a massive bulk storage. But for right now, this is where everything's going to be kept. Eventually, these will also be barrels once I need that. I just don't need that right now. This will be used for more storage, and the idea is that we can extend this down both ways as much as we need to and add chests from the iron chest mod. So these guys, which just have more storage space. As we saw with that gold chest, it's much larger than just a normal wooden chest. So yeah, I got tons of stuff in here. It's more or less sorted. I have a goal with this to not use a single coin, and I have not done that yet. And in terms of bags, my thing has sort of been collecting them throughout each age, and then sort of opening them right before we go to the next one. So that's been pretty fun so far. What else? I guess we can go downstairs. So yeah, we have a giant area here, and this is all in preparation for sort of the mega base that I'm going to be making. So the best way to explain this is with the map. So if you look at the map, you can kind of see this ring shape that goes around this island here. Sorry, not this island, this lake. And the idea is to have just a massive pathway that sort of goes all the way around this, and then we can have different rooms for different things, like machines or magic or whatever else, maybe bees in here. But yeah, this should be more than enough space to get us through a good portion of the game. And it should make it fairly navigable. I have some ideas of stuff that I want to put in the center, but I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with that yet. We'll sort of mess around with that as we move forward. But yeah, these are my machines. I have a high pressure version of all of the main machines. I have a steam oven for mass smelting, a grinder to do ore processing, a fuser. This is just to help get a lot of bronze, which we have a ton of bronze, and there's even more upstairs in the storage. And then this is the separator that I made just because it seemed useful going into later stuff, being able to separate large amounts of things. And I'll probably be adding more steam multi-blocks onto here. I should say this is not the final configuration of what this is going to look like. Obviously this area is not built up like at all. So plans for the low voltage age is now that we have access to bigger machines with more power and more processing power, we're going to be able to build this area up a lot more. I also have like blast furnaces. We got 8 of them. I'll show why in a second. Basically, we just need a lot of steel. So this sort of works in tandem with another project we have, which I'll show later. But yeah, this is my steam production, and this is why we needed all that steel. This is a 7x7x7 steel tank to store 11 million steam. So this is just my massive steam buffer, which will come in handy once we get to the low voltage age. Or now that we're in the low voltage age, I guess. And this is my liquid fueled steam boiler. So I'll show the water tower later, but this gets water from the water tower, which comes in through the other side over here. So this comes through here, and then that feeds into this liquid fueled steam boiler. And this just burns creosote. I have a massive creosote production, which again we'll show in a little bit. So that's everything for down here. If we head on out, oh, this is where I've since moved my nether portal, but this is where it used to be. It was just like a nice back area to keep it. I guess we'll show the wizard tower next. So the idea behind the wizard tower, which is just right here, go up it. The idea behind this is to just do a lot of our initial magic stuff in here. So Thawcraft, maybe some Botania if we can fit it, maybe some blood magic, witchery, all that kind of good stuff. As well as an enchanting table. So there is an area at the very bottom to put in a enchanting table. Yeah, this also serves partially as a lookout, so I can sort of see stuff. That's what a lookout is. I should also point out the giant wall. So this was made in response to the house burning down the first time. That just happened by one of those infernal mob things throwing a fire charge at my house, and like the entire thing burned down. So I built this giant wall to try and keep mobs out, and I torched up the entire thing just to prevent mob spawning. So this thing has been an absolute lifesaver, and it's pretty easily navigable. It's just a nice path, and there is a path on the inside, which I can show you. So part of this is also that it fully connects to the wizard tower, so it's really easy to move around. Yeah. There's this sort of internal walkway that you can use. Yeah, so that's a lot of the wall and the tower. We'll head back down. So this is where I was talking about the enchanting area. Right now there's a doorway through here, just to make it easier to get through. This will probably not be here once we put in the enchanting stuff, but I'm honestly not sure how that's gonna go. I mentioned I moved my nether portal. This is where it is now. Yeah, that's why there's a fence there. That's not good. But yeah, it'll be fine. Over here I have my rubber tree stuff, so I can chop them down and then throw them in the extractor where my machines are to get all of my rubber dust. This is my blacksmith. So right now there's just blood in there, don't question why, but I got a bunch of fuel tanks, a bunch of stuff in here. I got a pipe automatically going into 2 tables if I need to like quickly process a lot of stuff or something. Yeah, that's that. I have this paper bark wood tree that's basically been here since more or less we started. I just haven't really moved it. I hadn't need to move it. That's how I get my paper if I need any. This is the water tower. Come back here so you can see it better. So this is the water tower. There are 12 water tanks in here, so we can actually go up and see what that looks like. So yeah, we have 12 of the water tanks in here constantly producing water for us, which is awesome. There is roof access if we need it. Again, everything is lit up. Prevent spawning. Yeah, this is another great area to see everything from. Right now, this is where I'm doing a lot of my oak trees. That's where I'm doing my spruce trees. As you can see, pretty much everything is made out of cobblestone, spruce, and oak, which is just, that's kind of the like external vibe that I'm going for. Inside, it's going to get more techie, I guess. We'll see what actually ends up happening. Yeah, I made this little water spout just for decoration. I've tried to decorate this area as much as I can, just make it look nicer. But yeah, I got 2 pipes coming out there and going into the base for steam and just other processing. This is where I do some of my bee breeding. So we can't really do a whole lot with bees right now, but I'm just sort of building up a stock of drones so we have them. This is where my farms are. It's easiest to see what they look like on the map because you can actually then see all the circles. Again, my goal with this is to try and make things look as good as I possibly can. These Endermen love putting grass blocks everywhere. Anyways, yeah, I try to make this look as good as I can. I use like 2 different kinds of oak planks here to try and separate the layers. Again, just for aesthetic reasons. I need to replant this at some point. This is a cave that's kind of in this area. This used to be a nightmare because I just completely forget to light it up for a while, so it would spawn mobs and then they come up here and pain in the ass. These are recently redone. These are all there's 3 main gates, 1 on each side, and they just use carpenter's blocks, garage doors. So you can just completely open them and then close them, which is, again, great for getting a horse through. Makes life a lot easier, and they just connect into the sort of underground pathway, which makes that all nice. I think I forgot to block this off. So I used to have these old entrances through the gates, which, you know, were just 2 block wide, or 2 block tall, 1 block wide. And I meant to get rid of them, but I guess I forgot. I will have to remember to do that at some point. So I guess 2 more things on the list. This is the barn. It is not special. This was made just to have a place to put my animals, because they used to be sort of over here where the apiaries are, and they were just in the way. So I just needed a place to put them. That's all that is. Last thing to go over is sort of the first mega project that I had, which was this giant cobblestone tower. So we'll run over there real quick. So this is my automatic cactus coke farm. So it consists of a sort of 2x2 area. It's about 20 layers tall, and like I said, it's a 2x2, so there's 4 total farms here that sort of feed into 8 of these coke ovens, and then these coke ovens feed into another coke oven. So this turns cactus into cactus coal, and then these ones turn cactus charcoal into cactus coke. So this is fully automatic. The only way I figured out of getting fuel fully automatic at this stage was with cactus, because it automatically sort of replants itself, which doesn't replant, it just grows, and it will automatically break itself. So this is really the only simple, cheap, and reliable way to produce any kind of fuel. This is also nice because it produces, if you look at NEI, when you cook this stuff, it produces creosote oil. Now, it doesn't produce a lot, which is why we have so many ovens, but when you build all of that up, it is a fair bit of creosote oil, and all that just gets sort of pulled down, and then this pipe goes all the way back to base where our steam stuff was. Now, in terms of technical operations, there are some, things going on here. So this hopper will pull out of this coke oven, and then it will try to fill this chest first. If it cannot fill this chest, it'll go into this one, at which point that will get pulled out, and it comes into this trash can. Now that's important just because we want to make sure that this farm never stops, right? Because if this chest fills up, eventually these coke ovens will fill up and stop running, which means we don't get creosote oil, and if we don't get creosote oil, we don't get steam. So we always want to make sure these are running, and we just do that by having this overflow protection on the cactus coke. I should also say it should not be possible for us to fill up on creosote oil either. That way the cactus coke is always being made. And that's just because the actual burner over there will produce or consumes more creosote oil than we actually produce. So there's an overflow protection on this. There's also, I can technically stop this farm at any point that I want, just with this lever, because this lever controls a bunch of faucets. It's kind of hard to see them, but these things here are faucets from Timber's Construct, which are actually, these are what pull out all of the creosote oil, and those are just powered by a redstone clock right here, you can see. So if I just flip that lever, it'll stop the clock from running, and if I flick it back on, it'll keep going. So as the sun starts setting, we're going to close off the tour here. I want to thank all of you for watching. I want to thank everyone who's tuned in for the streams and been supporting me. You guys are awesome. I really genuinely appreciate it. Yeah, I'll see you all later.